Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the grand finale of the African Masterclass series. We're so excited to have everyone on board this very minute. I can see comments coming in. Charles Okorua, I can see you. You're our first participant in the building. Welcome. Please chat up every of your colleagues, friends, share the link. Let them know that we have started, and we warmly welcome you on board once again. Thank you so much. So we already have our guest mentors, our guest speakers in the building, in the house already. Um, Mrs. Crystal Chigbu is on board. Dr. Omotola Akinsola is also on board, and Mr. Somto Mbelu. Also, we have Mr. Ayobola is also well. Yes, he's also on board. So thank you all for joining us. I will want you to begin to share in the comment section how the African Masterclass series has been for you. What has the learning experience been like in the last 7 weeks? Yeah, Benita Okpoluwa, I can see you. Welcome. I can also see Kofo Worola Sanusi Taiwo. You're most welcome. Yes. So please share with me in the comment section how the learning experience has been in the last 7 weeks. And I look forward to hearing from you. Ahead of that, I will be reading some of the testimonials of, some of our participants. But share with me in the comment section how the experience has been for you in the last 7 weeks. Welcome, Oluwato saying, yes, you're saying it has been an awesome experience. Paula Yomide, I see you. Yes, you say it's an awesome experience. Yes, I also see you. Merit Michael, you're most welcome. It has been one of the best experience. That's from, I can't pronounce your name properly, Tispang Matiseta. It has been so amazing. This is from Olaide as well. Oladele, sorry, is white. Thank you so much. KC Dana says it has been, okay, all right. So it's been, Robert Fatai says it's been great and educating. All right. Let me read from Tululope. Sorry, Tululope now. She says, okay, sorry. Yes, I'm welcoming you. That's from Ideation Up. Tululope says it has been impactful. Thank you so much. Yes, it's been very impactful. Prudence says the experience has been truly amazing. I really learned a lot. Bukola Oyesile says it's been wonderful. It's been a wonderful experience with deep insights, learning from all the guest mentors, and we have some of them around. We have Mr. Somto Mbelu, we have Dr. Omotola Akinsola, we have Mrs. Krista Chibo. So you can also do your personal appreciation, send in your personal appreciative messages to them. Also doing a recap, about the models that they shared about. Okay, Raila Ashim says it it has been okay. Blessing B says it has been super exciting and impacting. Raila Shim says it's been okay. Sorry, I'm trying to capture. So Raila Ashim says it's been okay. All right. Okay, let's move on to Benita. Benita Okoluwa says AMC 2020 is one of my gifts from God this year. Thank you, dear Ideation of Africa team. It's been a phenomenal experience. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Also welcome Oloyede. Oloyede says it's been very exciting. She says thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Abe Ade Ralere, I'm so sorry for murdering your name. It was mind-blowing and mind-shifting, as in serious brain resetting. Wow. Thank you so much. Again, please, you can reel out your appreciative messages to our mentors, because we also have them on board as our panelists. So they're right here, drop your appreciative messages for them. Safety Chick says, Thank you to our amazing mentors for giving us so much value in such a short time. Thank you, DDK and Ideation. Thank you so much for sharing, Safety Chick. Father Iro Omowumi says, okay. Father Iro Omowumi says, thanks to our guest mentor, it was quite inspirational. And it's been a mind shift and a game changer. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for so keep it coming in. Keep it coming in. I also share with us. One of Terry says, thanks to the mentors, you did well. Thanks for the sessions. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I've shared Father Ro. Lawali Yusuf says, I wonderfully improved my skills through 6 weeks with AMS. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you for sharing. This is really, 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 really touching. Thank you. We're super excited that you think this, yes, and we simply cannot wait to hear all that you're interacting with these models. Keep them coming and keep sharing with us. Yes, keep sharing with us. All right. So Olubush Sola Besson says, thank you to our amazing mentors and the entire team. It's been mind-blowing. Yes. Merits Michael says all the mentors were so amazing. There was no mentor I didn't enjoy or learn from. They were all superb. Wow. Okay, Dr. Motola, I can see an appreciative message for you here. Casey Dana says, Dr. Motola, I was excited to see you on the panel for today. I totally enjoyed your session. Thank you for sharing with so much passion. Yes, the matter of funding is a strong matter of the heart. All right. Okay. All right. Covenant Eforuko says, thank you so much to all our mentors. It was eye-opening. Thank you so much, Covenant, for sharing. So thank you to all our mentors. It was eye-opening. Yes, indeed. It was really, really, really eye-opening. Ozana says sessions were beyond amazing, mind resetting, and so much more. Thank you for sharing. Oyoyo says all the speakers were really knowledgeable and were great speakers. Thank you. All right, I'll read another comment from Wakilat. She says the learning immersion with our Mabel mentors at the AMS was very impactful, mind-blowing, and fantabulous. I appreciate our mentors and the crew that provided the platform. Thank you so much, Wakilat, for sharing. Okay, let me share Makani's testimony. She says the African Masterclass in, okay, eye opener, yes, and a guiding road. I've been mentored and now moving higher. The mentors were extra. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let me share Prudence. Are useful and okay and useful in all facets of life. Thank you to all mentors and the entire team. Thank you for sharing. Omotola Egbe, I am constipated already with so much knowledge learned from all our mentors. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To keep the love coming in. Okay. Casey Diana says, So again, I would encourage you to share the link in your different teams and on the group with your friends. Call everyone to please join us. As Funke says, I'm super proud that such initiative came from Nigeria. Wow, yes, it gave me hope again that Africa's got all she needs. Thanks to Ideation Hub Africa for these initiatives, also mentors and facilitators. Okay, here's a message, an appreciative message for Mr. Somto. Oleyede says, Mr. Somto, I'm really grateful for all you said that day. Your wires still echo. Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing, Priscilla. Christy says, Christy says, thank you for sharing those amazing moments with us. I am forever grateful. I am forever grateful. Thank you, Christy, for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So yes, I hope it's for you to digest and run with all of these insights. We do not want you to be constipated, please. All right. All right. Here's another appreciative message which says, I lack words to describe the impact the masterclass has made on me and my company, thanks to our mentors and all that made it a success. All right. Here's another appreciative message for Mr. Somto, which is from Ogaga. It reads, Somto, your session showed me that I can actually bridge a gap in knowledge and channel it towards a career path in health advocacy. Wow. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Please send some love for Mrs. Crystal Chigbu. Yes, we have on board as well. Okay. Casa says, thanks for the thought-provoking session. And we have so much more loading. Mobu Josephine says, thank you today, the mentors and all members of Ideation Hub. This is an eye-opener, and I say thank you. Thanks for building this ecosystem. Thank you for being real and practical. Thank you so much. All right, pet enters. Rach says, okay, let me repeat it. Pesco and says, thank you, DDK, and to the amazing mentors. You have instilled lifelong lessons into me. God bless you all. Rachel shares with us, thank you, DDK. Thanks to all the guest mentors. It was indeed mind-blowing. All right. Now it says, Mr. Somto, thank you so much for the amazing knowledge you shared. Well done. Oloyede, okay, I've shared Oloyede. He said, Mr. Somto, thank you for all you taught personally. I was. Thank you for sharing. Also share your appreciative messages for her as well. Yes, indeed, the African Massacre series was a blast of value. Hope says, she said you showed me a blueprint and you shined a light in the dark tunnel. Okay, we have a message here from Mrs. Chigbu. It says, Mrs. Chigbu, thank you on experience. Yes. We also have another message from Abimbola Afolayan. It says, thank you so much for the lessons. They are very relatable and practical. Thank you, DDK and Ideation All. Thank you, Abimbola, for sharing. Yes. All right. So keep your appreciative messages coming in. Okay. Ogbu Atonia says, thank you, DDK and the mentors. AMS was indeed an eye-opening session for me. It was mind redirecting for me. Okay. I can see someone hailing and really typing out here, team shout out. Yes, we see you. Simi Soluwa says the African Masterclass was epic. Virtual org. I feel like I can be, okay, I can be a president tomorrow. Wow. God bless DK and all the mentors. I'm definitely going to make a change. Yes, please make that change. Okay, Mr. Robinson says, thank you, DK, and your awesome team of mentors. The impact team of mentors. Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Bukola shares with us. Okay. Mr. Robinson says, thank you, DK, and your awesome team of mentors. The impact of the AMS was indeed huge. You did break the barriers. Yes. And so we know that you have got website knowledge. Well, that's why we encourage you to still stay plugged within the community, as there's still so much learning to unravel. Bukola shares with us, she says, let me also add that DDK juicing method in asking questions was out of this world. She asked questions like we were there. She asked all the questions we would love to ask. I love you, DDK. Well done. Thank you, Bukola, for sharing. Lawa also shares with us. Okay. All right. So keep your messages rolling in. Okay. Keep your messages rolling in. Yes. Lawal Davis shares with us. Thank you to DDK and all the guest mentors. It was all amazing sessions. Though I am more than 60 years of age, African Masterclass has made me 30 years younger. I can't really say it was the impact that was awesome. Thank you all.
Okay, I'm just going to proceed. Tony might be having a little network challenge, but I'm excited to be in this evening. We've looked forward to this moment for quite a while. It's been 7 weeks plus at African Masterclass series, and I have my best friends joining us this evening. I hope that Tony would be able to hear that I've sort of started to speak.
Right.
And I mean, yeah. So, Somto, can you confirm that you can hear me, please? Somto, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Doc, you can hear me. Ayobola, can you hear me?
All right.
Yes,
Keep the comments
I
coming
can
in.
hear you.
Tony, can you hear me? Because you're probably still speaking to the comments. Are you back? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Oh,
I couldn't hear
fantastic.
you
Okay.
earlier on.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you so much for setting the tone for this evening. And I mean, let's take this as an official welcome again to our panelists. Very excited to have you on board and really thanking you for the sacrifice you're making to join us this evening. Be assured that we have almost 8,000 practitioners who are either joining live at this moment or who are going to be interacting with these resources. They've really looked forward to today. And we've had your names, especially Somto, Crystal, and Dr. Omotola really come up again and again as people they wanted to learn from. And I said, yeah, they're my friends. They're my best friends in the space. And for sure, I can harass them into a panel session. And of course, we also have Ayobola, who is a filmmaker and screenwriter at Red Africa. And they are partners to the African Masterclass series. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And hopefully you're joining us from Nigeria, so I can confidently say this evening. How are you today, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Joining from Nigeria, yes, I'm doing very well. It's an honor to be here and to be amongst this panel. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to a wonderful evening interacting with you, with fellow panelists, and the participants of the African Masterclass series too.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, sir. So every person on the panel are like family members to the African Master Series family, and you've interacted with their mentoring session. As I go on into the panel session, if you have any questions that you want me to treat beyond the ones that we're going to be exploring in the next 30 minutes, please let us know, and we might be able to speak to it as well. I'm going to jump right into it. It's been 7 weeks at the African Masterclass Series. We've had, like I said, almost 8,000 practitioners who want to work for social impact across the continent and across different impact areas. And I feel like over the course of the 15 modules, we've been able to really draw to the key insights that are really important for, innovative work. I'm going to start with you, Somto. And my question to you really is again around partnership. Now, we're 8,000 across so many African countries. But and we organized the program in a way that ensured that different teams work together, and you are also our jury members this evening as well as the participants themselves. We've had these 8,000 guys come together into 15 impact areas, and they worked on what we call the impact think tank, generating and curating original ideas for solving problems across energy, environment, healthcare, education, agriculture, vulnerable children care, all of that. Media, to speak to Ayobola's space, right? And we've worked on that together. But Somto, we are going to be dispersing, and I want you to share your big ideas for how those who struck alliances in the course of the series can continue to engage in a way that ensures that they can truly build the kind of partnerships for creating change in their impact area or even across other impact areas. What are your big ideas?
Well, the basic idea is you should, because of course, for you to be able to choose the platform or choose that particular project or whatever you're working on, absolutely, it must have been something you are so much interested in, something you're passionate about, and something you're pumped up to see it actualized. So all I'm going to say is the world is all yours, and like I always say, we live in an environment where things are more information and very accessible. You don't need to travel miles to be in conferences, or you don't need to, pay extra money to connect with people you feel they have so much to give to what you're doing, either in form of mentors or coaches and all that. So I think we live in an age or time where information is everywhere, and we can really meet and connect with whosoever we want to connect to. What I have is that the word is all yours. You go for it, and most importantly, always feel free to connect with people that they are doing things in the area you want to do. You want to venture. You're doing things already. Monitor what they do. Ask questions. Send them emails and connect with them. And free. Don't get yourself boxed in an area, and enjoy the ride. Most important partnerships are built when you're more relaxed and you're not really so much into that. I want to get this done, I want to do this, but just be relaxed and make it flow and connect with people, share ideas, and and also try as much as possible to connect with people around you who are also organizing events or programs that are in your own interest. Never can tell who you will meet. So I rather say it's something simple. I don't want to keep it in a very high valued. It's something that you just have to take it by day and then see how it goes. But basically, I tell everybody that if you're working on something, just keep working on it and keep going for it. Somehow, people will get to and connect with you. And most importantly, when you have something you're working on, your work speaks for you. So you just start something, and then you can have something to show, and you can have something to talk about.
So good. Thank you so much, Somto. And I hear again one of the strongest things you've shared every single time we've had you on a session, and it's really about authenticity, a purpose that is clear, and a genuine desire to do relationships beyond just a project that you are trying to work on. So I hear you on that. I'm excited. Ayobola, I'm actually going to jump to you because I feel like people in our space sometimes really struggle with excellently telling their stories. So you see what Somto has said. He said, when you do great work, it's going to speak for you and it's going to find you out. But I have people who say, Didiki, I've been doing great work for many years, and it just looks like I'm not visible and I'm lost in the back end of nowhere. And sometimes maybe those who are for impact often really forget how to curate their best stories. What are your big ideas for curating stories in a way that can even make you attract the right partners, gain mind share, and of course have credibility for the work you do?
Okay, so thank you. That's a very good question. First thing is, I believe that the work these people are doing is about changing lives. It's about changing the community.
Yes.
And oftentimes, we want to tell stories about ourselves, about what we do. We are so focused on the dynamics of the work itself rather than the solution that the work is providing. So the first way to communicate that, the first way to position yourself is to show how your work is solving the problem. That's what people first want to hear. People don't want to first hear about you, they want to first hear about your work and the solution it's created. And that's the first thing we put out. We are so much in the hurry to tell the story of ourselves, our journey, our struggle, everything we've done. We want to put all that information out there. But storytelling is deliberate and it is measured. So the first step, let me put out my story, the story based on what I have been creating, the solutions I have been providing. When that catches the attention of people, the automatic thing they want to do is to learn more about the person behind it. So they begin to inquire, who are you? By the time you get to that stage, then you cannot strategically begin to put your face to the solution you are creating. People are drawn to solution anywhere in the world. People are drawn by solutions, by value. Value means God, value attracts people to what you're doing. So the first thing is to push that. When they're attracted to that, then you begin to strategically put yourself by the solution. So it is measured and it is strategic, it is deliberate, it is step by step. Another mistake when we want to tell stories is that we want to tell too many things at the same time. So we're trying to communicate and we have all this information in our head.
Yes.
So we want to say a lot of things. We are so excited about everything, bubbling in our head, our minds, and we want to share everything at the same time. Over time, I've learned that the first thing is to break down the story, break it down into pieces. What do I want to tell first? What is most important for me to communicate at this particular time? The things that you put out there. Then step by step, you progress. You break down. So let me emphasize on that, is to break down all the pieces that make up the story you want to tell. Then push it up academically one by one so that people can consume in bits. People don't like to consume too much. They like to consume in bits. And that is how you give them in bits, in bits, in bits. And that's how they pick it up. And that's how they keep coming back to hear more based on the last thing that you said. But when you say too many things, people just go, oh, we've heard you. Oh, fantastic. Beautiful. And they move on. They've not really assimilated the load of information you've given.
Yes.
They've heard you. They've seen you, they've heard you, but they've not assimilated it as to take action. And we know that we want people to take action. It's not just to hear, but to hear and to take action based on what they've heard. And the only way they can do that is when the piece of information they've heard is strategically put. The call to action is clear. What you want them to get from it is very clear. Once they pick that up, they act on it, then they come back for more. And that's how they keep coming back. So break the pieces of story break stories into pieces, tell it one by one in bits. Let there be a clear message as to what you want them to do. And when they begin to assimilate that piece of information one by one, they keep coming back. But if you're going to push out anything first, it is to push out the value and the solution, not self. It is the value and solution that attracts them to want to know the person behind the story. So that would be my
Oh, wow. That almost feels like you just landed the inner secrets in our hands in a few minutes. So, number one, people are first attracted to value and solutions beyond the person behind the work. Number two, don't be too lost in the dynamics of your work that you're not able to really say what it does for people. And then take the story and break it into big sizes that the recipients can consume time and time again. And then over a period, they start to gravitate in the direction of the person behind the story. And then you said there's got to be a very clear call to action. I think that was boom for me, because sometimes we tell a story without an outcome in mind, and people are not able to take a definite line of action after reading from us or listening to us. Okay, you say I'm a good student. Fantastic. So let me keep it to Crystal because I can see her now. Crystal, my question to you is really around courage. I feel like you are a visionary who I think you're just crazy. Like, who has a manufacturing anything in a city like Lagos? Who wants to deal with power, with energy challenges, with artisans, with, locations, facility? I mean, and you didn't have to do that. You were already like doing big stuff with the, beneficiaries you were helping, but you saw that to be able to do more for more people with lesser cost, you needed to explore manufacturing. What gives you courage to go beyond the ordinary and to take on something that is naturally bigger than you?
Thank you, DDK. I think it's a couple of things, but the first thing for me is my driving force really is my faith. And I think for every not-for-profit, and I think I said it also, through the masterclass, you need to have something that is bigger than you. And, people call it different things. It could be your vision, but really for me, it's my faith and realizing that the work is actually bigger than I am. Another thing also is realizing that as not-for-profits / social enterprises, we need to start thinking like businesses. And really, if you don't innovate, if you don't come up with something different from the normal, yes, you have a lot in your passion bucket and you're still doing so much, but what happens eventually is you get bored. And so for someone like me that probably gets bored very easily, I see that the goal that we've set for ourselves over the last 8 years, we've already hit it and probably exceeded it. And so the question is, what next? What change do you want to bring to the table, different from what you have been bringing to the table before, that will actually, impact the people that you want to deal with? So for me, it's bringing the dynamics of faith together, seeing beyond today, seeing beyond when Krista is no longer going to be the executive director of Irede Foundation, and saying what's next. And the good thing to think of is think of our phones. When you think of the times when you need to actually take pictures and you need a big camera and you need to set up the entire place, and all of those things need to be in place. However, today with just a simple phone, you can take very quality pictures and still have the same thing. So how are you innovating as organizations? How are you making those things happen for you and come to the table? So for me, really, I would say it's my faith. I would say it's being able to be, and you call it courage, but it's not just being crazy, and being passionate enough, driven by that, thing that made you start in the first place, to want to continuously make innovation, change happen, so that you can serve the people, that you are out there to impact.
Let me unmute. I mean, that was really good. So you say first, you've got a driving force and it's your faith. Secondly, you say you came to a point where you started to ask, what next? How much more can we do and how can we get it done? And then you're also thinking of posterity. What is ahead of me, beyond me? And how can I innovate in the direction of that? That is brilliant. I love it. I love your kind of crazy. It's making a difference in our world. Let me move on to Dr. Omotola, who is a personal coach to me. And I really look forward to all the big things we're going to do together. Every time that I've interacted with her, whether what she was teaching and I listened to it, or sitting in a coaching session with her, I just felt like, and before I ask you a question around fundraising, Dr. My honest curiosity about you is you seem to be like a literal factory of ideas, like big ideas, audacious ideas. How do you, what creates that zone in your life where you're able to always come up with very, very powerful and excellent ideas? Like, is there anything you do that fuels that type of culture of thinking and innovation in your mind?
Absolutely. Thank you, DDK. So I'll say for me, it starts from going within. So like Krista mentioned, my faith is a big part of who I am. And so drawing on that has been helpful in helping me to really dream bigger than my current situational environment, wherever I may be at whatever stage of my life. Beyond that, also reading a lot and thinking of like I say I have like 5 fabulous mentors and I have like 10 invincible counselors. And what I do is like I practice like at least 1 hour every day where I sit in darkness. I go into the closet of my room and just really imagine like my 5 fabulous mentors is Jesus, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., and Nelson Mandela. And those are my 5. So I sit down as if they're in the room with me and I ask questions about their life because I read all of their autobiography. I've watched all the movies they've made over their life and still keep making. And then I imagine the problem that they were able to solve in their own lifetime. And that really, and then just ask them questions like, I want you to help me, give me the courage for this, or what does that look like? And then I've been doing this for over 6 months now. And it's incredible the insights that pours out. And it's really something that has really helped me. And so that gives me the extra hope, the extra positivity to know that it is possible. That even those people in their own lifetime, they didn't have what we have. So I really believe that we have more advantage than they did. And if they can make something wonderful, something great that even after their lifetime, for most of them that are not alive now, people can still remember them. Imagine what we can do, all of us together, individually and collectively. So that's something that's really helped me a lot in being able to really think beyond now and really be able to dream bigger and see like a brighter future. And like I said, investing in reading, learning from other people. I don't believe that anybody's above or below me to learn from. I take on learning, it's like I soak it in and then I sit with that knowledge and then I start thinking which area of my life need this, what do I need to unlearn and relearn, and then I use that and then apply to those different problems or different issues that I see, and I believe that I'm called to make something good happen in them as well.
Wow. Okay, now I love it. So you're saying that you make a practice of personal inquiry where you're alone, you're thinking through stuff, you're seeking answers, you're even imagining that your 5 fabulous mentors are right there in the room with you. Okay, I can't wait to come back to you with one more question around fundraising, which is where I feel like you've provided great insights for me as well. So I'm back to you, Somto. And my question this time is something that a lot of our social impact makers are asking again and again. And it's really about when you look at how deep the problem is in an area where you feel so passionate to create a change, it sometimes looks like even after you spend 5 years really pouring yourself into that space, you still see an enormous portion of the problem that doesn't seem to be shifting or moving. How do you, especially with the work you've done, you've volunteered, you've written a book, you've mentored young people, you've stayed passionate about the space, right? How do you sustain your positivity, your resilience, and your desire to continue when it looks like no matter how much work we do, it still looks like there's a lot of darkness out there?
Yeah, so it happens to everybody, that you're working on a project and sometimes you want to give up. So even
Yes.
I also feel that way too. And I always ask myself, what was the reason? Why did I start this from the first place? So if you want to give up on anything, you should first ask yourself, why did I start from the first place? What was the motivation? What was inspiration? What was the big picture? And just like I also normally tell people, achieving, or let me use the word, being a person of note or successful, or being a person of impact is never ending. It is something we keep on doing till we leave this earth, because that's what God called us to do. We are being called to solve problems and challenges. They never end. You're building one, another one, imagine. And that's why you could
Yes.
see DFID, USID, and some of these big donor organizations. If the problems in the world has finished, they could have closed shop and say, oh, we've solved all the whole problem. We're done. We're exiting. So these problems or these issues are things that keep on coming up every day, and then they keep on springing up. But the idea is you finding strength in the reason why you started the project, from the first day. And like you also tell people in development, solving developmental issues are iterative. I said that during my last class, it's not something that you solve it, because for things to happen, there must have already been a problem initially that prompted what happened. So no matter
Yes.
what, you keep on dig deeper and deeper, solving the issues, getting more partners. You win this, you move on to the next one. You win this, you move on to the next one. So it's never ending. The most important thing is that we keep on solving the problems. We keep on providing these solutions as they come. And the truth is, as it comes through, you're also building strategic partnerships too. Because if you've been able to organize or run some projects or successfully, those platforms or backgrounds must have provided you foundation with people who will also advance your cause, going forward.
Exactly.
So whatever problems challenges you face while doing development work, it is not new. It's something that comes up, So as you solve a problem, and remember what they always tell us, that the reward for success is more work. You understand?
So
So
good.
as you're solving problems, you're finding solutions. There are more and more things to do. And all of us, all the creatives, all of us here can attest that most creatives or most people, most creatives are restless people. So even when the whole problems are all, let's say for example, solve all the whole problem, you might just wake up and say, no, there's still something to be done. If we make it this way, I think it's going to be much better. So
We
just
must
don't give up.
yes.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, so good. So the iterative, don't give up, and it's important to have your own community, your company, where you can go back to, and I feel like that's one of the big great things we're doing with AMS, offering a community, a hub where you can still come back encouraged. That's super important. If you're listening to me, you've not signed on to AMS Plus or Premium, I don't even know you. I've heard you before. Because it's just so good. Like what is going to be happening in the hubs, like you've already started experiencing, is really. Ayobola, I'm going to ask you what you might partly consider maybe a two-part question. But the reason I'm bringing it to you is Red Africa has successfully gotten the attention of a generation, literally, you see. And we saw a powerful example during the election, how they used the power of creative media, the power of advocacy, to really rally a troop. And I'm starting to feel that rallying a is becoming an important skill to stop just random individuals have a nice, really encourage social innovators to form coalitions. What are your big ideas for being able to rally a troop and catch the attention of millennials or a generation in the direction of a positive change to create or a value we want to instill in society?
Okay, so the first thing is to identify what generation or what a community is most interested in. Oftentimes, we find ourselves trying to build a community, trying to build a troop around a common action without aligning the common action to what their interests are. And so, what happens is the messaging and their interests are at odds with each other. And so you're putting out a message, you expect them to react to it, but they are not reacting. And it feels like I did not listen, but I'm saying all these things that matters to them. So we think that it matters to them. They are looking at us like we don't care. And so we, on our side, on the storyteller side, they're like, oh, we're telling these great things. They're trying to get you to take action. But they are like, but we can't hear you. We can only hear you when what you're saying, or the story you're trying to tell, or the action you want us to take aligns with our interest. So the first thing is to build in the direction of their interest. So using Red for Africa, for example, when we were going to take on, uh, 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 the political campaigns that we worked on, both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, the first place we always start from is what are the people most interested in? Because by learning their interest, we learn how they speak. And by learning how they speak, we also learn how they want to hear from us. So we create the story in these three directions: what their interests are, how they love to receive information, how they love to hear it, and how they love to speak. So there's an alignment in how we speak. So we speak their language. We say what they want to hear. And we also build our solutions, our actions, our
Wow.
community, everything around their specific interest. Oftentimes the problem is we are trying to generalize and say because they are young people, this is how they all think. Because they are young people, these are their interests. But no, even within a group of similar people, there are still differentiated interests and differentiated languages.
So
And
good.
so what we do is to tap into their specific languages, is to tap into their specific interests. That is how they can buy into your message. That is how they can tap into your community. That's how they can say, let us be part of what you're trying to do. That's how they can move with you. That's how they become your army. So look at most of the
Wow.
when look at many of the storytelling forces that we see today, whether it is in music or it is in movies or it is in literature, we see that most of these storytellers build, they have a strong community based on interest. So when you see people who like to listen to a certain genre of music or like a particular musician, it is because the message coming from that person to them addresses something specific. It appeals to a specific part of them, a specific emotion, a specific experience, a specific desire or aspiration. And that's what we do. That's what we call aspirational storytelling. We like to buy into their interest, their desire, their aspiration, where they want to go into. That's how they can get behind your message. That's how they can follow you. That's why anything you want to do, they can get behind it and say, we want to be part of it because they see themselves in it. So the most important thing is to be able to ensure the message you're creating and the story you're telling they find themselves in it. That's the best way. And so when we've always been
Wow.
creating messages, whether for government or whether for private organizations or for NGOs, what we are always interested in is to ensure whatever message you're putting out, the people you're putting in that for, they can find themselves in your story. They can find themselves in your message. Their hopes, their dreams, their desire, their aspirations, everything is found in that thing, in that message, in that community. That's how they become a part of it. And that's when they get to move with you. So to create a group is to create a is to attract a group of people with similar interests, similar language, similar beliefs, similar aspirations, similar interests. That's how they can rally around you, and that's how they can help you amplify your message as you continue to, carry them along, on that journey. So whatever message you are
Wow.
creating, just sum it up. Whatever message you are creating, it is this. One, it must align with the interest, the language, the stories, the experiences of your audience. And your audience will be able to find themselves in it. Once those two things are aligned together, then they can build an army around your message, around your product, around your service, around your community, your message, everything you want to do. They align with it and they keep following you because they see themselves in what you're doing.
Wow.
All right. While we wait for DDK and Miss Toyin to come back, DDK asked me to continue. And so I'm going to speak a little bit about funding and fundraising for your organization until they get back. So first thing first, I want to let you know that whatever stage you have as a non-profit or non-governmental organization or social enterprise, you are fundable. Because I know there's a lot of belief that says, oh, I'm young, I'm small, I don't know, I'm still trying to get everything together, we're not fully registered. And so you believe that all of those things limit you from getting funding. I want you to know that you are fundable. Believe that about your organization. Believe that about your project, about your program. You are fundable. The question is, what kind of funding can you access at whatever stage you are in? And I think that is where a lot of funders get it wrong. In the beginning, most people think of just grant and grant and grant as the only way. But I want to tell you that there are, and like you learned in the masterclass, there are so many different pathways to funding and fundraising for your organization. And so the first thing I want you to do, because I know when you think of funding, you're like, oh my God, the work is so much, but the laborers or the funding is limited. But I want you to know that the funding is much more than you can imagine. And if you can plan strategically, and if you can apply everything you've learned in this masterclass from all of these wonderful experts that they've brought together for us, you are going to have funding success. So first and foremost, assess what stage are you in right now? Where are you? So if you're still starting, if you're under 2 years old, I would really say maybe grant is not the only strategy you should search out as your funding source. A lot of people just go into grant and think grant is the only way, but there are so many other things you can combine with it. So I want to give you an example. You know, we've heard of this saying that says that, oh, rich people or successful people, they have to have multiple stream of income, correct? The same way when it comes to your funding success as an organization, as an enterprise, as an entity, you have to have multiple stream of funding sources. There is no other way around it for you to be fully funded, for you to move from self-funding into actually getting your program funded without just the funders' money alone going into it. So the same way that for individuals, for businesses, they have multiple stream of income, that's the same way when it comes to your project. You need multiple stream of income, multiple stream of funding sources. So grant is just one. It's just one pathway. It's not the only pathway. So once you assess the funding, your stage right now, that can help you determine what funding sources should you go after. A lot of funders and a lot of leaders in the nonprofit world, we make the mistake of just going after anything and everything. But I want you to first sit down and do an internal check of where you are as an organization in terms of your structure, your capacity as a team. And then when you know that and you really then start looking at all of these different funding sources that I talked about in the masterclass, and I'll just do a recap. Yes, there is grant, there's corporate sponsorship, there's individual donation, there's the board membership donation as well. There is like crowdsourcing using online fundraiser that you can go after. There are government partnership opportunity or contract that you can get as well. And so these are just some few potential funding sources you can have access to. So depending on the stage you are in, that should determine what kind of funding source you go after. And so let's give an example of those that are in the under 2 years old stage. Most of you are not really you may not be able to compete for bigger grants, especially international grants or national grants. But that does not mean that you cannot get it. It just means that at this stage that you are in, you need some structure, you need some processing, you need some documentation first before you can get to that level of accessing those grant funding. While you're still waiting to get to that stage, I would say the best thing you can focus on is your individual donors. The truth is, I was reading some research some few days ago, and research shows that most people think that grant is the only way that you get the big, massive amount of funding. But the past few years, research has shown that individual donation, that's the number one source of funding when it comes to individuals. And so I'm just going to end this so that DK can take over.
Okay, I mean, it's really good. I was just thinking some before I came live, and I feel like I want to just do a little recap as we now start to wrap the panel session. So I'm going to start with Ayobola's. just let him know that I caught the memo super well. First, you talked about how our storytelling agenda is not just what sounds good to us. We've got to find the interest of the people that we want to buy, who want to buy into our vision, our community, and the work. Then we've got to begin to speak their language. And in speaking their language and speaking to their interest, we must speak about a future that they see themselves in, a future that looks like somewhere that they're going, and I feel like it's just been boom, a mind-opening thing you've definitely shared. And then on to Dr. Omotola, the day saver who came to our rescue while our internet was having a mind of its own. Thank you so much. I love the fact that you've given us the confidence that we are all fundable. I know that my early stage social entrepreneurs are so excited to hear that everyone is actually fundable. I also love that you said, just like wealthy people have multiple streams of income, it's to have multiple funding streams for your work. And I'm excited about the fact that you said, if you are going to move fully from self-funding to maybe institutional funding, you've got to approach it from a multi-pronged approach, but it begins with being clear on what stage you currently are in. One of the exciting things for us is at AMS Plus, we are even actually going to be running an assessment on all our subscribers and all our community members that really helps them understand across 7 key pillars of the organizational effectiveness toolkit where they are with their own organization, so they know the kind of support that they require. Thank you. And that was super, super insightful. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to share Funding Magnet book as well, which I believe will be a big, big help for those who lay their hands on it. Finally, before we go on now into the live page, my darling friend Crystal, my final question to you is really so much more a non-profit type conversation. People who are early stage professionals in the non-profit arena often feel like there isn't a clear roadmap for how to navigate this space. Like the whole thing is like, when I had this executive education experience at the Hubbard-Humphrey University in Minnesota, one of the things I found interesting was if a freshman in college wants to step into the nonprofit space, there is a very distinct roadmap from that moment on till he gets his first job. But it doesn't look like that in Nigeria. So if a person wants to start an NGO, can you talk to the resources, the associations, the paths they should consider taking, aside Ideation Hub Africa, of course, if they really want to thrive within the space?
Thank you, DDK. And I was just going to say that, Ideation Hub, place to go. But there's something that Dr. Omotola talked about that I would just want to piggy on before, and it's about being hungry. And you're so right, especially for Nigeria, there's no pathway if you want to go in the not-for-profit space. So you need to be hungry. You need to go beyond just, I'm passionate or I'm crazy about this thing and I want to make this change happen, and be focused on making that change happen by just really looking for information. So when you talk of resources, very quickly, Ideation Hub Africa is there. I also know that at some point, Enterprise Development Center was running a social development course for people within the not-for-profit space. So that's also good. Another good resource would be Acumen, would be Philanthropy University. There are a lot of courses that you would actually get there for free that will give you insight. But more importantly, you want to also look at the people that are doing exactly what you want to do and understand the path that they've taken and how they've currently gotten to where they are today. There are a lot of people offering different courses and trying to put this together. But more importantly, I think I'm also going to throw this back to DDK and the rest of the people working within the not-for-profit space, and I've gone so far to say, how can we come together to put something in place that guides everyone that needs to have a pathway in this space. I'm also doing something called the social good company, which also does about the same thing. But if we come together, just like Somto said, and we put all of this together, I'm sure that we'll be able to drive that to completion. But for that not-for-profit person that is out there, just get hungry, look for resources and materials, and try to just be better than where you are today. Go beyond your passion. Your passion is not going to take you to that next level. And just like Dr. Omotola told us, you definitely will get some form of funding in the beginning from friends and family, and these individual guys really do give. And just to corroborate what you said, I mean, for my not-for-profits, over 40% of what we get comes from individual donors. So that's huge. However, it won't sustain you. So you need to go over and beyond, get hungry, go out for it. When you have courses that are free, and I know that DDK probably doesn't really like this, free courses are great, but please pay for some other courses. When you're going to the university, it's not all the time that you get scholarship. You also pay to go to school. So get more knowledge, pay for that course. Yeah, you know, $100, $1,000, and start small. You might just be able to afford one that is probably 10,000 naira if you're in Nigeria today, or something that is just about, you know, $10. But just get that certification, get better, understand how the people that have done it and have gotten to the mark of where they are have done it, and you know, try to learn from them, and then you will get better, you know, as the case may be. Okay.
Oh, so good. We are going to be hungry. I mean, I don't know why you say I won't like it. I know that I offer a lot of resources for free, but for sure, I pay so much, you know, to keep growing my mind. So I do expect that our own community members and social innovators will jump on AMS Plus and AMS Premium. It has been great having you panelists. I'm certain that as I hand us over to Tony, she's going to guide on what next, especially as you move to your jury duties this evening before we let you go. Thank you so much. It's really a great, great privilege doing this beautiful work with you. And I feel brilliant just being in the company of brilliant people like you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, DK. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks. Thank you so much, DDK. Thank you for the powerful moderation. Thank you to our amazing panelists for the great insights that you have shared. So many highlights to draw from every insight that has been shared thus far. Thank you so much. And now we move on to the next item on the agenda, which speaks to the Impact Think Tank live pitch, which involves our top 5 finalists. And you also, to our amazing panelists, you also comprise, you know, the jury for this challenge. And just before I call in the first presenting team, I will be running them through the live pitch rules for the presenting team and for the jury. So for the presenting team, for each presenting team, you have 10 minutes to make your presentation. You have received the necessary criteria, and we expect that you comply with that as you present. To the jury, you also have received our evaluation criteria, and we look forward to receiving graded marks for each of the 10 evaluation criteria that we shared, which will an equivalent of 100%. So for each mark, you would award each presenting team on the basis of your satisfaction with their presentation in alignment with the outline. So I will bring it on environment team. I will be bringing them on board.
Yes, please take that again. You're bringing in what team, please?
The environment, and they are in already. By okay, yes, all right. Thank you. With your presentation.
Barely 3 years ago, a terrible fire outbreak occurred in one of the maternity wards of one of Lagos State's finest general hospitals. This hospital is popularly known as the Alimosho General Hospital, and it is situated along the Lasu-Isheri Expressway. Every morning, few hours before 9 a.m., and in the evening, few hours after 5 p.m., you would find LASTMA officials struggling very terribly to control the very tight vehicular traffic still along this Lasu-Isheri Expressway. Finally, but not least, whenever it is about to rain, we do not just get the announcement of the coming rain from the darkening clouds or the dropping temperature, but we also get an announcement from the terrible stench that fills the entire community still on this Lasu-Isheri Expressway. Now, what is the common thread tying these three scenarios together? Is simple: the poor waste management practices of the Soluos landfill. The Soluos landfill is Lagos State's second largest landfill or dump site. It is situated on this Lasu-Isheri Expressway. And not only does it share a fence with the Alimosho General Hospital, but it is smack in the middle of a very densely populated rural urban settlement. My name is Eitemi Fashanu, and I'm a social savior. My team and I have come up with a very innovative set of solutions that we believe will be the answer or the solution to the prayers of the inhabitants of the Lasu-Isheri Expressway community. And we have tagged this project the SWM project. SWM stands for Sustainable Waste Management, and it is a Hydra-headed solution to a Hydra-headed set of wicked problems caused by the poor waste management practices of the Soluos landfill. Now, our vision statement is to become one of Africa's finest waste to wealth warriors, leading Africa to conquer the wicked problem of poor waste management. The same way Ideation Hub Africa is the go-to solution center for social saviors like myself and my team. And our mission statement is to eradicate poor waste management in Africa through education, relevant collaborations, and sustainable innovative practices. Our core values are integrity, sustainability, innovativeness, and lifelong learning. Now, I will quickly run us through the depth of our Hydra-headed solution. Now, from our research, we found out that there are two major killers of poor waste management, proven killers. The first is in line with agriculture, and the second is in line with energy. Now, our agriculture-based solution is maggot farming and fish farming. What do maggot farming and fish farming have to do with waste? I will tell you. Maggot farming cannot happen without organic waste. And in Lagos State currently, particularly in the Soluos dump site, organic waste takes up nothing less than 50% of the total waste composition at the landfill. Maggot farming is very easy to start. In fact, it almost takes nothing to start. In fact, for those of us that cook, we have had experiences in our kitchens where overnight we see maggots by the sink because we forgot to throw the food waste away. Maggots are very easy to breed, and they have been proven to be a very rich source of protein for poultry and fish. Particularly poultry, because in the past couple of weeks, particularly the past 3 weeks, going through the news, we heard that the price of poultry in the market today has almost doubled, and by Christmas maybe over 100%, because the price of poultry feed has gone up tremendously and is still projected to go up. Now, corn is one of the major components of poultry feed, but right now, corn is the most expensive component of poultry feed. Now, it has been proven that that maggots can replace corn and even some other nutrients that are used to produce this fish feed, and same goes for poultry feed. Now, still moving on our solution, we also have biogas solutions in mind, because I already mentioned earlier that our solution is two-headed. The energy bit of our solution is the biogas energy solution. Now, biogas is a proven renewable energy solution, very clean and environment friendly, and comes when organic waste is decomposed. Organic waste, when decomposed, gives off biogas, and then the residue is very rich organic fertilizer that farmers can use for vegetable farming, for yam, for rice, and other food crops that are very popular in the Nigerian context, particularly in Lagos State. Now, along the course of us implementing these two solutions, we'll be undergoing a lot of research, a lot of training, because we have realized that biogas solutions are not a one-size-fits-all solution. Even agricultural solutions are not one-size-fits-all solutions. We need to tailor our solutions to meet the population of the environment in question, the resources that are available, as well as the feedstock that is available on a regular basis. Because from our research, we found out that biogas is very tricky. You need to be always sure that a minimum amount of organic waste is available to you every day for the process to run effectively. And so we continue in research, we continue in trainings, and we continue in collaboration and dialogues, which have already started, to help us get all the information that we need to do effective work. Along the line, our biogas solutions will generate electricity. They will also be fuel for biogas specific generators, which are very easy to design and can be very cheap to design. We have competent people on our team that are able to reach out to people that can make these designs available, or even do these designs by themselves. Now, the beauty of every phase or stage of our project is that each phase will allow us room to learn and to grow and to accommodate for mistakes and lags without being overly affected in such a way that we cannot bounce back, because it will be lies for us to say that we will not encounter challenges along the way. Along the line, we also crave strong community participation and awareness, because we can't even implement the project till the community is very accepting of it. We were able to do a mini questionnaire to help us sample what is going on in the minds of those in this Igodo, this Lasu Isheri Express community. And so far, we have gotten good feedback that the solutions that we are bringing are much needed in this environment, but we still need to do an elaborate set of surveys and interviews and questionnaires to get even more robust feedback. Our project constraints are lack of technical capability, which will be covered up with training, high cost investment, which will be covered with funding, financial constraints, which will also be covered with funding, and then evolving public perception about renewable energy solutions and biogas in particular, which will come up with education, with training, with a strong social media presence, with continued dialogues, with continued meetings with stakeholders and our intending beneficiaries. And also along the line, it is our dream that every dump site in Lagos State, in Nigeria and in Africa will turn to a productive outfit, ranging from parks and gardens to waste to wealth training facilities and other innovative solutions that come up along the line. our call to action really is for strong mentorship, for strong community participation, and for basically a hand in glove kind of approach to the solutions that we have on ground. Our financial implication to begin the project is a $3,000 cash and kind funding. I said cash and kind because it includes trainings, it includes mentorship, it includes reading, it includes research, and then it includes economic money, of course. But everything together, put together, $3,000, will be able to start our first phase of the project from maggot farming and then graduate gradually and gently into the biogas solutions. We intend to start with the maggot farming because, like I said earlier, it takes almost nothing to start. We do not even need any outside funding for that. It will help us learn the ropes, see the mistakes, see what we can do better, and then gradually transition into the energy solutions. It's such an amazing opportunity that you've given us to be here. And we really thank you for helping us to see that we can be more than we think that we are, and that we can do more than we think that we can do. And we are so grateful. Thank you so much.
Well done, Eitemi. I am personally very proud of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. It's an honor to hear that from you, ma'am.
So our jury has the floor. They have the floor to share any thoughts and to also share the total scores, that has been captured for the environment and waste management team.
Tony, why don't you let us wait to get through as against sharing immediately? Why don't you let us have a run with the other teams before we maybe come back to what the scoring is like? What do you think? I would say we go on to the next presentation, and then we can come back to spending some time sharing on the overall feedback. But just to say that I'm extremely pleased with the support, the shout outs that we're getting for the environment team. Well done to the environment team. There's a lot of exciting feedback from your team members and even other teams. Obviously very proud of the work that you've put in. So keep that coming. We are definitely going to be able to get the next presenter in very shortly, and we can move forward with it. Okay, we don't have Tony back in. We don't have her back in yet, so I probably would ask for the participants to share their thoughts about the presentation from the environment team. If you had $5,000 to put on this, or if you had $5,000 to distribute across 3 teams, what are you going to be putting on the table for team environment? Let me just know. Let me see the funders in the house and what they're going to offer team environment. So put that in the comment section. I am actually keen to see it. And let us see how we prepare to get the next presenter in very shortly. But share with me, if you have $5,000 for 3 teams, how much are you going to put on the table right now for team environment? Let's see how much we can fundraise from your visionary bank accounts for team environment this evening. Okay, so I'm going to be checking your comments and I'm going to be sharing it with the house. We want to know. Ayobola, someone says, smile please. Christoph Laszlo says, Ayobola, smile please. So someone has got their eyes on you. That is what okay, Isioma says she'll put $2,000. All righty. Fantastic. Education Think Tank is coming on board. Very exciting. Florence will put $1,000. Let me see anyone else who is putting how much on the table. Okay, Christoph from Hungary. Very excited to have you. Okay, the Education Think Tank representative is on board and will be making a 7-minute presentation. Okay, a 7-minute presentation starting shortly. Can the host please centralize her video so that we go? Or if you're able to unmute, you can actually start. We are ready for you. Team Edu Reform, welcome and best wishes.
Hi, good evening. I'm
Good
not sure
evening.
if everyone can hear me.
We can hear you.
Okay, so my name is Aurel Dua. Okay, thank you. My name is Dua. I'm representing the education think tank. I'm going to try to share my screen, but I'm worried it's just going to freeze on me right now. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'll try and share when I can. So I'm sure we've all heard about we've all come across news clips and things like that. The most recent one that caught my attention was the one where I saw some people in a certain state selling their votes in quote for a piece of cloth and for some money. The first thing that came to mind when I saw that was, wow, these people have no idea what they're doing. They are clueless. They don't know the power of their votes. This boils down to illiteracy. That was what came to my mind, illiteracy. You know, and also I've seen videos online, you know, Instagram and all that, where there's a person like a reporter or a journalist interviewing people on the streets and asking them like very simple questions. Like there's one I remember, like, you know, do you think you have an eardrum? And the people that were being interviewed were like, no, God forbid, I don't have an eardrum. I'm like, what? And sometimes you see these people in corporate uniform, meaning they actually graduated from a school. So it's like you went through primary, secondary school, and university, and you don't even know the basic parts of your body. You don't know basic things that, you know, anyone should know about. And I know most people find these things funny, but to me, when I see things like that, I find them very sad. It's like our educational system turning into, you know, it's like you go through all these years of schooling and there's really nothing to show for it. Like your mind is not changed, you are not thinking creatively. There's really no impact or improvement really. So I feel like for us, that's one of the major things we are really hoping to change and to really address. So like the problem that we've seen and that we all agree upon is there's just this inadequacy of the African education. It's better to learning children. And I know we hear about people, you know, like just struggling through schools. And most times these people, when they end up going to different countries, like foreign countries to study, sometimes they top their classes, you know? So it's just one of those things where what's going on, like what is that bridge that we need to really, you know, like step into to men to really address this issue. And like Nelson Mandela said, he says, education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. And there's a quote too that says, education is the bedrock of any nation. So how really do we address this issue? So we've come up with a lot of ideas and tools that we've seen as ways to really address this issue. And one of them is we plan to create a sort of community library or like a learning center where people can come to read, exposed to, you know, like to books and to literacy in general. But our first point of call is really organizing book clubs. And our focus is really on low-income communities because most times they seem to be neglected and they seem to be, you know, put on the back burner. So that's really our primary target. our stakeholders really are students, like primary, secondary schools, and teachers too, because these are the people that really impact that knowledge and that really help children to understand things and to like form creative thought and really guide them. So of course, if you're going to be focusing on low-income communities, parents too would be stakeholders, because we know, like most times children are the ones that do the chores and like help to keep the home running, help the parents to keep the home running. So we have to to be able to talk with them and ask them for their input and their help as well in trying to educate these children too. So one of our first ideas, we're to low-income community schools, and then one of our key, our second idea is also to create a sort of teachers toolkit, as we call it. This toolkit is just a sort of compilation of different things that we can use to help teachers teach more effectively and more creatively. So this toolkit, our hope is to make it as cost effective as possible. Our plan is to use recycled materials or low cost materials to put together this toolkit. In our last pitch, we had a picture of the toolkit. I'm just going to see if I can find it here and share that with you. I'm hoping my screen doesn't freeze. But anyways, pretty much we're going to be using things like styrofoams, things like empty cartons, things like beads, yarn, wool, and just to put things together. We can make a math box, like where kids can learn and see things live, because we also, as we know, we all learn differently. Kids learn differently. So people learn by touch, some learn by hearing, some learn by listening, some learn by reading for themselves. Like there's so many ways that kids learn. So one of the things that we hope to do is also to empower teachers to be able to cater to the different learning abilities of different students in their classroom, because it's unlikely that a teacher would have everyone in the learning the same way. So how does a teacher help to cater to all the styles of all her students? So that's what the toolkit would contain. And so our plan is to sell the toolkit to private schools or schools that are outside this low-income community. For the low-income community, our plan is to give it to them for free, and also to teach them how to create their own toolkit, how to put it together, and teach them how to use it. That's our plan as well. So we have come up with let me find my document. Looks like give me a minute to see if I could. Yeah. So we have broken down financial literacy phases. So the first phase would be to, give me a second, my slides are going everywhere.
All right. Education think tank.
So these book clubs, as I said, yeah, I'm just going to jump. I think I have about 2 minutes or so. You said 7 minutes, so I think I have about 2 minutes. So
you have less than
right.
You have exhausted your 7 minutes already.
Oh, I have. Oh, I thought I had. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just going to wrap up with my funding part of it. Thank you. So we're going to, our plan is to get banners for the schools. That's going to cost about $6,000 a year. And we're hoping to give gifts to the kids very engaged. We are planning to put about 1,000 on for that. I would share the screen, but I'm having issues with my my computer freezing.
Please, we can't share the screen.
Yeah, so we're looking at about almost 500,000 naira.
All right. Thank you so much, Education Think Tank. All right. Thank you for making it a wrap. Thank you so much. All right. I'll call on the next team, which will be the health think tank. I'll add you to the stream now.
Thank you, Dr. Omotola. Right. So, good evening, everybody. Good evening, amazing panel members of the jury. Okay, so I've just confirmed that we can't share. Can you kindly confirm quickly if
All
we
right,
can
health think
share
tank, please unmute your mic. You have the floor.
So I'm starting. Let's imagine, I'd like to take us on a trip. To imagine a trip in the land of imagination, to land of imagination. In our minds, our biggest dream, our biggest ability, to imagine a Nigeria where youth are excited from the terrains, from the desert terrains of the northeast, of the northwest to the forest of the southeast. They are excited and very pleased to stay back in rural areas and serve our great fatherland. Rest assured that their health is well secured and catered and will be catered for when the need, if the need arises and come what may. Imagine a Nigeria where urban dwellers are able to give emotional support and visit their families or their aged ones and in the rural areas more often because they know that whatever it is, when they go home, even if they have existing health conditions that need to be managed, they will have the same kind and standard of health care in the rural areas in their hinterlands as they would have in the urban areas. Imagine a Nigeria where the aged are very happy and comfortable to live their retirement dreams of staying back in the countryside, enjoying the cock crows at dawn and going to bed as early as they desire, knowing that no matter what the health needs that will come with the age that as they attain their old age, it will be properly catered for by the primary healthcare centers or the healthcare establishments in their rural areas. Imagine. This is the Nigeria that the health think tank of the African Masterclass series is hoping and aiming to bring up for Nigeria. We therefore are coming up or have come up with a deal of innovative ideas to improve access to quality healthcare services in rural communities, and we would like to start or pilot this project from Oyo State. We have statistics that have shown that although the world finance is 50% in Americas and Canada, sub-Saharan Africa is financed with only about 10%. And with this 10%, we are bearing more than 25% disease burden of the 11% world population. And what do we have to deal with this workforce? What workforce do we have to deal with this disease burden? Just about less than 10%, less than 2% actually of the health workforce. WHO helped us to understand through a series of data that of 57 countries worldwide have a critical shortage of healthcare workers. We therefore, knowing that sub-Saharan Africa contains 36 of these countries, are aiming to work with the primary healthcare centers, understanding that the primary healthcare centers are the core of health and wellness of the Nigerian populace. Our vision, therefore, is to enhance Nigeria's primary healthcare system to improve access to quality healthcare services through the implementation of primary healthcare revitalization programs. How do we hope to achieve this? Our mission is to partner with relevant stakeholders to build a health workforce that is committed to providing quality and standardized primary healthcare services in rural communities across Nigeria. Our stakeholders are the healthcare workers and their families, community leaders, community members, volunteers, the state government. We're intending to partner with mobile network providers, training institutions, and our market is all healthcare professionals within these areas. We hope, or we are aiming to work with the demography of all persons within the FIDITI ward of the Afigio local government area of Oyo State. Male and female healthcare personnel and parents and children in this community will be served or impacted. We're aiming to create a lift for these people through our impact project. Our proposed solutions are three-phased. One, to bring about clinical workshops and trainings to improve the capacity of the healthcare workers in the rural communities and helping them to learn better on patient safety, teamwork and collaboration, role interdependence, many of the things that their urban located counterparts are able to receive as CME points or CPD points, but because of their location in the rural areas, they are somehow cut out of it. Our second level of intervention is telemedicine. And here we have three key areas: the GSM closed user group services, with which we intend to set up call centers centralized to the community, to the rural community, where people can go and call the primary healthcare center, such that no matter their distance from the primary healthcare center, they are able to receive immediate or first aid care to reduce the rate of mortality that may arise or that is prevailing, that preventable mortality that is prevailing. Secondly, we are working towards getting medical dispatch riders to distribute medicine or medical and health products to the communities. Sometimes they speak with their relatives or their children in the urban areas. They know what they need, but they don't have access to these pharmaceutical products. Medical dispatch riders will be on ground to make this to bridge this gap. And thirdly, toll-free short code messaging services, such that they can send short code messages, they can send SMSs to a particular short code, and they don't have to be magnanimously literate to be able to send help, or just send a key number 1 to a short code 12345, for example. And this will help facilitate communication between the community members and the primary healthcare center. I run along quickly to our third intervention, where we hope to retain the healthcare workers in the rural areas, which we call Health Workers Rural Retention Scheme. We aim to achieve this by equipping the healthcare facilities with basic amenities, bringing career development opportunities to them in the rural areas. They don't have to think about traveling. We bring the career development to them, so they don't feel like they are underprivileged. They don't feel like they are losing out on anything compared to their urban located counterparts or colleagues. And thirdly, we hope to bring educational grants to their wards, such that they can rest easy and say, yes, I will stay here, I will take care of this community, and they pour in their whole effort. We would have loved to share a detailed plan on this, but I'll run quickly to our timeline. Initial timeline for completion of impact for this pilot phase is 12 months. So this pilot phase is 12 months, and after the 12 months, we hope to replicate this across other primary healthcare centers, across other rural communities, and gradually gradually broaden our coverage, broaden our reach to the entire Nigeria. Imagine in Nigeria. So the first quarter is setting up board members and development of websites and all of the logistics that is needed to go through. The second quarter will evaluate activities that we did there, that were carried out in the first quarter. We track healthcare services. We monitor using monitoring and evaluation tools, hoping to see that there's an increase in visitation to hospitals, a reduction in mortality rates, and a higher retention, and even influx of healthcare workers to the rural areas. Wouldn't that be lovely? Where people will say, instead of saying, I want to go abroad, they say, I want to go back to my hometown to go and serve the people in my hometown. Our proposed budget is, the third quarter evaluation and the fourth evaluation and monitoring of the accommodation. We're trying to set up accommodation as well, optimize the accommodation and living standards. And then the fourth quarter, impact monitoring, and then collaboration, reviewing collaboration and partnerships with the government and other stakeholders. Our budget is between 5 and 6 million naira. where we telemedicine. The telemedicine is taking up around about 3 million, 2.4 for the toll-free. So it's going to be free for the community dwellers. Toll-free short code messaging service, about 2.4 million. Desktop computers for telemedicine for critical cases, with urban settled or urban located consultants, about 300,000. We have the motorbike rider who is going to be employed from the community, and the motorbikes, and then the motorbike rider salary, the motorbike, and then the phones for the call centers. All of that rounding up to about 3 million naira. And then the tutoring and mentoring sessions going up to about 216,000 for the projector accessories, flowcharts, which we're going to keep around the facility. And then suitable accommodation, that's about 900,000. That's about 900,000 for the renovation, and then 600,000 for electricity that we intend to generate using solar panels. Water, we intend to sink a borehole that will supply water, which is critical to health and improved wellness of the community, at about 400,000.
Your time is actually up, so you have to close out now. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so all in all, we aim to cover all the 9 out of the 17 areas that are available under the SDGs. 9 out of the 17 are going to be covered by our intervention proposals, and we hope that you would partner with us to make a Nigeria of our dreams, and one that we just imagined. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much, Health Think Tank. We wish you the best. Well done, well done. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are anticipating the next presenter to turn up. So for the feedback we're receiving about the challenges with varying timing, it's also connected to some of the network challenges that we've been faced with. But to be honest, I do feel like the education team may need a rerun, maybe for their extra 2 minutes, because they look like the only team that did not get the exact time. That's how I feel. I might be wrong.
I agree.
Yes. So we might need to bring them back up. Their timing was cut short, and it's just a fair thing to do. Okay, so we'll go on to the Gender Advocacy Think Tank, and then we will be able to see how they do. For sure, you are moving from now till 9-10 p.m. So we can measure that together. 9-10 p.m. Best wishes. Carry on.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Solomon Oyodele. I would not share my screen because of network. Drop a link of our presentation in the chat box. I would only ask that the jury please look through following my presentation. Right, just as I've said, I'm the team lead of the Gender Advocacy team. Right, at the beginning of our brainstorming session 3 weeks ago, my sister from Zimbabwe, Chenai, shared with us some stories about how ladies were abducted and sexually molested in Harare. And when they release them eventually, they are not able to report some of these cases. In the same vein, my sister from Cameroon, Christabel, shared similar stories about how ladies get picked up to in Cameroon, in North Cameroon, and while they are released too, there are no appropriate measure where they can report some of those things. And after 2 days of rigorous brainstorming, we decided that we want to go through looking at a social problem called gender-based violence, drilling it down to domestic and sexual violence. And while we were thinking about all of these things, I remember the story of Olamide Ali that came to fore on social media June 27, 2020, how a boyfriend who she had 2 kids for locked her up in a room, taped her mouth, and pulled off her ears one after the other with a plier, stabbed her 11 times with a kitchen knife, and eventually he himself committed suicide. Now, we need to set a tone to make people understand that Gender-based violence is not another buzzword. So the question you would ask us is, what is our massive transformative purpose? We decided to say that we want to reduce gender-based violence-related fatalities by democratizing access to quick help and knowledge center. The truth is there are existing help centers, there are existing partners across the ecosystem, but we realize that a lot of people are doing different things at different times without a coordinated system. So what we have said was we want to reduce fatality rate by democratizing access. I'm not going to bore you with the divergent statistics that shows that gender-based violence is a tip of the iceberg, or is a silent epidemic, right? In 2019, thousands of women across South Africa thronged the street of South Africa to protest what the nation called a national emergency. It was said that at least a woman was killed every 3 hours, 50 men every day. Right? It showed that gender-based violence is not just another buzzword in development space. It is something that needs immediate and critical attention. And in the words of Albert Einstein, he said that you do not solve a problem at the height of the problem. You need to take a level ahead of the existing problem. So we decided to run a survey. We ran a survey to about 1,000 Africans between the age of 16 and 60. Right? And we came up with 5 hypotheses. Number 1, are a lot of Africans experiencing gender-based violence? Number 2, are the cases of gender-based violence underreported? Number 3, are there shortages of access to reporting channels? Number 4, is it difficult to access reporting channels? Number 5, are individuals open to digitally report cases of gender-based violence? I mean, it's a lot of feedback from my experimentation and learning, right? About 70% of the respondents noted that there's no adequate awareness on gender-based violence. 74% of the respondents said they've experienced some sort of gender-based violence. More than 50% of the respondents agrees that the responses to gender-based violence-related issues has been below par, right? 90% of the respondents agrees that gender-based violence-related issues needs to be reported, right? And 82% noted that reporting a case of gender-based violence is quite cumbersome. And in our survey, 75% of our respondents are from Nigeria. The remaining 25% are spread across Zambia, Cameroon, and other sub-Saharan African countries, right? So we came up with a problem statement: difficult access to help when faced with gender-based related issue, either as a survivor or as a victim, as it were. So when we came up with our problem statement, we said we needed to craft like an utopia. What is the future we're looking at? So we came up with 4 utopias. Number 1, quick connection of reporters or survivors to help centers. Number 2, democratized access to information on gender-based violence. People should be able to get information at the tip of their fingers. Number 3, democratized access to legal and psychological help at the comfort of their homes. And number 4, which is the most important one, an ecosystem of partners across the space. I know Nikki had mentioned earlier on that she's been seeing something on the group chat when people have been shouting Team Shout. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you what we call Shout. I just dropped a link on the jury's chat now. It's a link to our demo to the app we intend to deploy. The Shout app is an app built to function as an alert system and a help center that's linked with several help agencies to aid the delivery of its operations. I might not be able to go through the end-to-end strings of the app. I just dropped the link on the jury's chat box. They can go through it and see the way they connect. On the app, well, once you download the app on iOS or Play Store, you'll be required to give us your name, email address, phone number, 2 emergency contact numbers, your gender and date of birth. You would agree to the terms and conditions, then submit. On the home page of the app, you would find report an emergency, learn about gender-based violence, talk to me, and a store where you can get materials around gender-based violence, right? And 2 things we have embedded into this app as a proposition. Number 1 is behavioral biometrics, meaning that when you shake your app 5 times, it triggers an alarm, it triggers a panic. Apart from the behavioral biometrics, we're also proposing to embed voice recognition.
It's exactly 7 minutes, so we need you to round this up, sir, in 1 more minute. Right. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I mean, the remaining part of the presentation shows that we have adbox as machine learning algorithms developed using both alternative data points, markets, those who are phones and phones, they are 50 million today, they are 75 million. We have partners, we share our business model canvas, our key partners and all that. I mean, so we have a makeup of team. We have innovation managers in the team, IT solution architects in the team, product managers in the team, business analysts in our team. And for the first phase, we have got to find out the availability of the new shout with CAC. We get to start our first simulation with Nigeria. And we're hoping that once we develop this app that's white labelable, an app that is customizable, we can push it out to government for them to be able to afford it and use it to fight the issues of gender-based violence. Thank you.
Well done, gender advocacy. I kept wondering about this team shout all day long. Team shout, team shout, team shout. Okay, so I see what we're shouting about. I am personally very proud of your presentation, as I've been with the rest, and I wish you the best. So we're going to move on to the final presentation for the evening, and we'll start to draw this to a close. Well done to every single one of you. It has been a very inspiring and positive experience. So we look to welcome the final presenter, and then we're going to be having the overall outcome shared with us by our jury members. So let us get in our final presentation. Guys, now you have 4 presentations. Tell me how you're going to distribute your $5,000. And if you feel like you're just going to put all your $5,000 on one team, just also let me know. I'm waiting to hear from you. Okay? I'm really waiting to hear from you. So good. I'm so proud of all your presentations. This is extra impressive, and we're going to be running with some of these big ideas. Okay, civil participation and election team is here. Welcome. You have 7 minutes leading us to 9:20. I wish you the best and congratulations on your presentation.
Thank you. Can you all hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh,
yes.
Awesome. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Esther Opone from the Civil Participation and Electioneering team, and I have a question for you. What comes to mind when you hear the word youth? Does it conjure images of young, carefree, and exuberant people who can't be bothered with anything in the world? Does it speak of boundless energy and wild imaginations? Or like a certain African president, do you think of a bunch of lazy, entitled people? But here is what the youth is according to us, the future. Now, over 75% of Africa's population are less than 35 years of age. That is approximately 975 million out of 1.3 billion people in Africa. Africa faces a myriad of issues, and it will be stating the obvious to start mentioning all of them. But one obvious thing is that all hands are needed on deck, and those hands include the hands of young people. Unfortunately, with the success and future of our communities resting on the youth as the future, youth have little to no active role in decision-making processes, which is slowing down our progress towards achieving the Africa that we want. Now, Kofi Annan said that young people should be at the forefront of global change and innovation. Empowered, they can be agents for development and peace. But is this so in Africa? But exploring the onion model, we found that the issues are tied to challenges like ignorance and misconceptions about civic processes, apathy, distrust, lack of inclusion and representation, lack of or inadequate capacity, and then cultural, systemic, and legal barriers. I mean, we live in Africa in which the young are expected to keep quiet when the elders are talking. So that cultural barrier is a major problem. Now, we can see this, it has even permeated every sector, such as the absence of National Youth Council in many countries, even countries that have those councils are a bit redundant. Some people do not even know of their existence. Then there's a lack of autonomy of youth leagues in political parties, and then poor financial capacity of the youth civil society organizations. All of these have contributed to the exclusion and lack of representation of youth in decision-making processes. And then we are supposed to be the future. So what is our solution to this? We believe that with the full implementation of the African Youth Charter, AYC, we'll be able to encourage and strengthen inclusive youth civil participation. Now, you may wonder, what is the AYC? A lot of people know about the SDGs, but a lot of people do not still know about the AYC to today. It is simply a political and legal document that provides the framework for African nations for the development of their youth and their participation in creating the continent that we want. Even though it was adopted in 2006, so far, out of 55 African countries, 43 have signed, 39 have ratified as at June 2019, and that was the date of the last signature. Now, this document is very progressive. It is homegrown and relevant to the realities of African youth, which might not be captured in the global goals. And then it is very inclusive because it calls for all state parties to include their youth and also build their capacity and facilitate their involvement in the development of our nations and continents. So the target of this implementation plan is the African government executives at all levels, that is the national, state, and local levels. From this, youth to be able to benefit from having their rights and freedoms respected. They will be able to get capacity for personal development and also contributions in the society and leadership. They will be able to have their duties in place and have a sense of belonging, take responsibility, and also have inclusion and representation. On the other hand, the government, when they implement this, they will have an engaged and responsive citizenry and move faster on the way to building a better continent. And of course, civil society organizations will have a safe space for their existence and program activities. Now, objectives with this project is to build awareness on the AYC and popularize it. A lot of people still do not know about the existence of this document. Then also educate the youth on the relevance and our roles in it, and advocate for the full implementation, not just signing. Of course, we want all nations to sign this and adopt it into their processes, but also to fully implement it and also foster dialogue between the actors and ensure representation. So our key stakeholders in this are the African youth, of course, the African government executives,
You are
relevant
exactly 7 minutes in, even though you had a little lag time with muting. So I'd say you tied up now. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. And of course, we'll be partnering with relevant NGOs and CSOs. Now, for our quarter one, we'll be having awareness and education. Then we approach key actors and, of course, advocate. Now, in all this, dialogue is a very important thing. Now, in order for us to achieve this, finally, we'll be needing resources to carry out digital awareness, to carry out trainings, and then transportation to official meetings with key stakeholders. And all of this comes to about $2,197.65. To measure our impact, we'll be having baseline and follow-up surveys, stakeholder awareness, interest, and engagement, and also measure the actions taken. And our team is made up of people from different countries in Africa with relevant experiences in community engagement, youth leadership, and so on. So thank you very much for listening. And remember that no one is born a good citizen and no nation is born a democracy. But both processes continue to evolve over a lifetime, and youth like us need to be included in the process, according to Kofi Annan. Thank you very much for the opportunity to pitch this.
Well done. Thank you so much. And it was great listening to you. I am going to be requesting an opportunity for the education team to represent in 3.5 minutes so that it's very fair and they do not feel like they missed out on their chance. So Team Edu Reform, Team Education would like to have you back in, and we're wishing you the very best as you tie it in the next 3.5 minutes. We are bringing this to a close despite the internet challenges we face today. It has definitely been an extraordinary evening with my amazing social saviors around the continent. We even have people from other continents of the world. So this is super exciting for us. By now, our panelists are already tying in all their scorings for the other four, and we hope that you have your computations for all of them, as well as individual percentages for the different teams. I hope you also are sending that to our team already so that we can have an average score for all teams based on what our panelists are computing, okay? So if education team is ready for us, we'd like to have you back in, and we believe that you have already made an excellent presentation, so you get a chance to close properly the way you desire, and then we can move toward the close. Let me say again, while we're bringing in the education team, that you should be getting ready for Development Dialogue November 2020, which is going to be fully free ticketed for all our premium subscribers and discounted for our plus subscribers. You have 5 more days before the discount goes. It happens every time people start to send frantic emails. Oh, it is now so amount. I still want to access the discount, but it will be all gone by then. So I really encourage you to make this investment in yourself and in your initiative, because you're definitely worth it. Okay, we've got the education think tank back in, and you have the floor till 9:26 p.m. Let's do this.
I think I left off at where I was talking about the implementation method for our project. Number one is to create a book club with monthly rewards in low-income primary and secondary schools. In the long term, this would scale up to become a community reading hub. We also want to encourage discovery of learning styles by implementing the use of existing learning assessment tools. And our implementation plan to implement to visit schools physically in order to engage the stakeholders, the students, the school administrators, and the teachers. We also plan to use social media as a marketing and reward tool. We also plan to create a website to showcase and merchandise our teachers' toolkits. And we also plan to form partnership with different organizations that are doing what we are planning to do. For our financial analysis, at the phase 1 of it would be we are estimating about 150,000 naira to cover the cost of the book club implementation. At the phase 2, we are looking at 300,000 naira to cover the recording of teachers' training toolkit. 3, we are looking at creating a website to leverage on technology to improve access of low-income communities to the existing toolkits. And we're looking at 1 million naira for that. Possible future partners that we hope to have include the Ministry of Education, the Universal Basic Education Board, school administrators, exam agencies like JAMB, WIC, and NECO, just because part of our implementation is to advocate a change in the curriculum to introduce new curriculum, new ideas, and do away with the outdated curriculum. Thank you.
Well done. I feel like you sort of rushed through it a bit, but I love that there was great clarity with each of the insights you wanted to provide. And I'm just wishing you the best along with every of the other presenters. You have done super brilliant, and we feel very, very, very proud of you. So well done, Team Edu Reform. Well done to every other presenter as well. Okay, we are coming to an exciting end of this very beautiful special evening, and we are going to be taking last words from our panelists. We're also going to be receiving the results, which will be the last thing we're going to be announcing. So be on the lookout for it. We're getting ready for that. But the game is back in your courts. I want you to tell me now that you have all these 5 brilliant presentations, how you are going to spend your $5,000 fund, which you want to provide to the presenting teams. And it depends on how you want to split it. If you think 5,000 all the way for everybody, we're here for it. If you want to distribute it, please put it in the comment section as we prepare to come to an end. Okay, so we are ready, and Dr. Omotola is going to be coming on board very soon to make the announcements. Big congratulations to all our 5 finalists. We are definitely super proud of you. And yes to the brilliant work that I've witnessed tonight. My hope for Africa is definitely on the buzz. because of the, initiative, the thinking, the creativity that I have seen tonight. Well done to every single team. Well done to Team Education, Team Gender Advocacy, Team Environment, Team Health, Team Civic Participation. You all have done so up tonight. Big thanks and gratitude to our panelists. Despite all of the challenges with the internet, you've been so present, calmly, patiently all through the way. And big congratulations and thanks to all our members who signed on tonight and waited all the way till the end. Very proud of you, and we cannot wait to unveil our final winners to you tonight, as well as what they receive.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for staying thus far. Let me know in the comments if you can still hear me. Like DDK said, wonderful presentation, like overall excellent. I love the idea of everyone coming together from different countries and masterminding to come up with solutions to what we believe are wicked problems in our society. So I want you guys to applaud yourself wherever you are and know that you are all winners. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, know that you are all winners and we are so incredibly proud of you. But because this is a competition, there has to be levels of winning. So the 5th position goes to Team Education with an average of 60.9 points. So please give them a round of applause. Please give them a shout out in the comments. And team for 4th position goes to Civic Team with an average of 63.5. So please a round of applause and shout out to them in the comment as well. And the 3rd position goes to Team Health with 66.75 average. Congratulations, team. Please give shout out and a round of applause to these team members. And the 2nd position, drum roll please, goes to Team Environment and Waste Management with an average of 75.7 points. And the last but not the least, the winner for tonight's pitch competition is Gender Advocacy with an average of 84.5 points. So please give them all a shout out. Like we said, congratulations to everyone. And on behalf of Ideation Hub Africa, for the 2nd and 3rd position, the team DDK has decided to give active members of the team in the 2nd and 3rd position. You gain access to AMS Plus. So please send your thank you to Ideation of Africa. And also for the 1st position, the Gender Advocacy team, for those that are active in this team, you are gaining access to the AMS Premium. And also you get to present your idea at the Development Dialogue 2020 happening in November. And also, I didn't tell DDK this, for all 5 teams, there will be different positioning. I'm going to, especially team 1, I'm going to help you and work with you to find at least 5 different funding opportunities for you to definitely submit your idea. And then the rest of the team, I'm going to work with you as well and look up 2 to 3 personalized funding opportunity for you as well. So just I'll send all the details to DDK and she's going to connect with you and the team as well. But congratulations all around, and I cannot wait for all the wonderful things you're all going to accomplish, and know that you are all winners. And yes, your idea might not be the top one here, but that does not mean that there will not be funders out there. And the more you refine it, the better it's going to get. So don't see this as a loss, see this as a win, and know that you're on your way, that the future is bright and the possibilities are endless for each and every one of you. So thank you so much for putting in your energy into making this happen. And thank you to the team for creating this opportunity as well. I'll hand it over to DDK now.
Wow, Dr. Omotola, we thank you so much. I also really want to thank our panelists. You guys have been so amazing. Thank you to Ayobola, Eniola. You are an egghead, and I'm definitely still going to be getting in touch with you with a lot of interesting ideas that we have. Thank you to Crystal Chigbu for being such a pathfinder in the nonprofit space. Thank you to Somto Mbelu, my brother and friend. And we look forward to all the brilliant things we're still going to be doing together. Thank you to Doc Omotola. I mean, you are not going anywhere. We still have workshops planned out for those who are subscribers to AMS Plus and Premium. So, I mean, we look forward to all the exciting things that we're going to be doing together. I'm going to be asking each of our panelists to share their final words of encouragement to all of our powerful community members before you leave tonight. I know I've drained so much goodies from you today, and I thank you for obliging us. So I'll start with Mr. Ayobola Eniola.
Okay, so congratulations to all the winners, which is like the 5 teams, and congratulations to the winner who gets to share the idea on the bigger platform, which is Team Gender Advocacy. I regard everybody as a winner. I feel like Dr. Motola said, keep refining your ideas, keep going to get somebody's attention, funding, somehow, somewhere along the line. I would like to say that what we create, the essence of what we create is the problems that they solve. And I'd like to encourage us that no matter how big our ideas get, no matter the platforms we soar to, we should never forget that the reason why we are here and the reason why we keep going forward is because of the solutions we keep creating. I will never leave, we will never forget that. The problems that we keep solving, the solutions we keep creating, the value we keep bringing to the table. We must never forget that even as our ideas keep getting bigger, funding keep coming, that must be the core of where we keep showing up at the table, to keep solving problems, to keep bringing value, and to keep creating solutions.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayobola. And
thank you, Ma.
I'm sure you didn't know this, but I'll see you at Development Dialogue 2020.
Wow.
Okay, yes. I am going
to
Mr. Chigbu. Please give us your thoughts and your final words tonight.
Congratulations to every change maker. You guys are amazing. I think the presentations were really awesome and amazing. Well done. And I just want to tell you as a change maker to continue to dare daily, to be consistent at it. And because when you are consistent, you will definitely see that change that you have called out to do. You will see it happen. And I'm sure that you will feel very fulfilled. Keep daring. Thank you.
Wow, dear daily. We're never going to forget that. That's even a tweetable moment. Dear daily. Crystal Chigbu 2020. Okay, I'm going to Somto. What are your final thoughts and words for us tonight?
Well, I have to first thank you for the awesome work you're doing with Ideation Hub and impacting the whole of Africa. It's so commendable, and thank you so much for what you're doing. And also to our winners tonight, I want to say congratulations to you all. It's so exciting and insightful, the amazing ideas that you guys have this night and you have presented. And I must say, these are ideas that hopefully, if well managed very well and with proper guidance and mentorship, everybody's idea will soar high, impact the whole of Africa, and also impact the whole of the world. And I'm excited that our own very dear Dr. Motala has also agreed to mentor and guide, most of you to see how best you can, access some funding for your project. So thank you for the good work. Keep moving, keep doing what you're doing, stay consistent, and stick to Ideation Hub, because I think leading them along this journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Motola, what are your final thoughts and words tonight?
Absolutely. Once again, congratulations, everyone. We are so super proud of you, like every other panelist has said. But I want to leave you with 3 things. 1, you are possible. Don't ever forget that there is so much infinite potential within you. I don't care what the environment, what your culture have already drawn within you. If you stick with Ideation Hub, we are going to unearth the gold that is in you right now. So you are possible. Don't ever forget that you're a social savior. Remind yourself daily and use your I am. I am a social savior. I am a change agent. I am possible. I am going to bring about the solution to these pressing problems in my community. Believe that every day. Say that and believe it. And then go in that mind, like Christo said, and said, dear daily. So remember who you are. Remember your identity and go in that identity to act. Don't worry about the problem. Don't allow the mountain to scare you. You have everything within you. You're fully resourced. You're fully sourced with everything you need to be the change we need to see in this continent, in this country, wherever that is for you. And at this time, you're here for such a time as this. So don't allow anyone, your current circumstance, your current situation, to let you believe the lies that you have been implanted in. Once you keep training yourself, keep on learning and keep learning, you keep growing in that courage and keep taking those daily steps to do that. The number two thing is that don't forget to keep collaborating. There's so much power in masterminding together, and you can see from all of these wonderful teams that presented today, on their own, maybe they just have like little glimpse of the solution, but together they brought out these powerful presentations and things that actually are able to say, make change happen in that society at large. And so don't forget that the relationship you've made through this masterclass, the friendship you've developed, continue to nurture that, continue to find time to meet once in a while, once a month, to come together and just brainstorm solutions and then figure out how you can act together to make change happen. And above all, share about Ideation Hub. Let people know about them, because they didn't charge you 50 kobo or 1 cent for this work. So the thank you that they want to see from you is to share and then do the work and share about them, so that more people in this field, in this sector, can gain access to the knowledge they need, so that they can continue to be the champion that will save the world and that will change our society for good. So thank you all for being here, and go out and do amazing work.
Wow. Thank you so much to everyone. And we are definitely excited to draw the curtains tonight. If a project director, Tony Banjo, is able to step in at this time, we're happy to have our final words as we close out. I am hoping that she's able to do that. Tony, are you here? Fantastic.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our all amazing panelists, Dr. Omotola, Akinsola. Thank you so much for the great insights that you shared. Very pragmatic. I really also appreciate the gifts that you have also promised the top 5 finalists. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Ayobola, for your time. Thank you also for the experiential insights that you shared on storytelling. We really do not underestimate the value that you have, shared with us. Thank you, Mr. Somto Mbelu. Thank you also for your time. We appreciate all that you have churned out to us tonight. To everyone who joined in tonight and has spent close to 3 hours, not even pulling out, regardless of the technical glitch that we had with the internet. I really, really do appreciate each of you. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the commitment. We really appreciate the investment you have made tonight. And now this is a chat to each one of you. Though we are closing the curtain on the AMS, the African Masterclass series, or the AMS Masterclasses. However, the community does not shut down. So now, seize the opportunity to leverage discounts that we have given out till the end of this week, or till the 7th of October, to register across any of the packages that we're offering. AMS Plus, AMS Premium. Please sign up and ensure that you stay plugged into this energetic ecosystem. You cannot afford to disconnect. You need to continue to learn. You need to be plugged into a community where you grow, and you need this impacting knowledge, not just for the now, but for the future that you will be creating as change makers. Thank you again, everyone, for tonight. You all have made this Thank you for staying through from the very moment we start 7 p.m. till this very time at almost 10 p.m. Thank you so much. And to my amazing ED, thank you, DDK, for the opportunity. Thank you for the platform called AMS. We really do not really have words to really express to you, but we're indebted to you for this initiative. And to our panelists, thank you once again. So we call it a night. Thank you all.